King5.com. And our awesome Seahawks coverage continues all day on Evening Magazine tonight at 7:30 and all day long on King 5. In fact, the news at noon is next. Thanks for being with us. Bye-bye.
Some segments of New Day Northwest are paid for by these fine sponsors.
Yes, it really happened. The Seahawks are headed to the Super Bowl again after a miracle comeback. We have fan reaction and more, including a news conference live with Coach Pete Carroll, scheduled to happen in this hour as well.
Hot off the presses, your NFC Championship merch is on sale now, and you won't believe how early some people lined up to get their hands on it. I'm Meg Coyle. We'll have that story coming up.
And how are people celebrating the legacy of Martin Luther King Jr. today?
And finally, we're seeing some sun breaks around Western Washington. I'll let you know how long the sun will stick around coming up in a few minutes.
I'm Jake Whittenberg. You're watching the King 5 News at noon.
You're watching King 5 News.
And we're waiting to hear from Seahawks head coach Pete Carroll, expected to walk up to this podium at the VMAC here, address the media, address the country, his fans about the big win last night. We're going to bring that to you live when it gets started. And now that the Seahawks are once again NFC champions, it's time to do some shopping. King 5's Meg Coyle went to Dick's Sporting Goods in Renton, where doors opened early for those wanting to get their hands on those championship gear.
Lots of people showing up here at 6 o'clock this morning. A surprising number given that this is a holiday, so a lot of people don't have to get up for work and they don't have to get up for school, but they were here when the doors opened at Dick's Sporting Goods in Renton at 6 o'clock just to get their hands on some NFC Championship merch. And here's a look at it. You can get a license plate bracket for $6. You can pick up one of these hats. Nice looking. These are $33. They've got women's sizes, they've got kids sizes, but you know what? They're already starting to sell out of this stuff. So you gotta hurry. They were selling out of XL and XXL in some of the long sleeve shirts. So lots of fans are showing up here to make sure they have an opportunity to get their hands on what they need to celebrate what they say is going to be a Super Bowl victory.
I feel great, got my friends covered, we're in good shape. We're ready to come back in 2 weeks and buy some new t-shirts to talk about a Super Bowl win.
So the stuff's selling fast, and they're even selling some Seahawks Super Bowl merchandise, so you can get your hands on the hat and a t-shirt there. But this is the t-shirt of the day right here. These are $28. It's a Nike t-shirt. Get your hands on them now while they last. They are starting to sell out. Now, we're told Dick's is going to be restocking them throughout the day. So if you come here and they don't have them, they say check back, or you can always check their website. They're also selling them at Sports Authority and, of course, the Seahawks team stores. Reporting in Renton, Meg Coyle, King 5 News.
Lots of good stuff out there. Thanks, Meg. The city hosting the Super Bowl this year has rolled out the welcome mat for the Hawks and the 12th man.
I want to be the first to welcome you. You're going to love our average 70-degree weather. You'll also love our sports and entertainment district.
That was from the Glendale, Arizona mayor, who posted a video on YouTube last night. Glendale is home to the University of Phoenix Stadium. Not to be outdone, the mayor of neighboring Phoenix also put in a good word with the people of Seattle.
Arizona, this is NFC country. We got to root for our conference, so we hope the Seahawks do great. Look, it's going to be one heck of a battle. Seattle's going to go for 2 in a row. New England is a legendary franchise, and they're on one heck of a run. This is going to be a legendary Super Bowl, and we know that the fans are going to have an experience second to none if they come down here. Even if you don't have a ticket to the game, come on down to Phoenix. You are going to have one heck of a good time at Super Bowl Central and all the activities associated with it. You're going to be able to experience the NFL, experience a lot of the legendary players who are going to be signing autographs, have a great time with NFL experience, all the wonderful music and bands. Come on down for the party. Even if you don't have a ticket, you're going to have just as good of a time. So Seattle, you are welcome here in Phoenix.
Nice little welcome from the mayor there. A couple of lucky 12s will get the chance to see the Hawks play in Phoenix for the price of a lottery ticket. Take a look at this. Washington's lottery is giving away a trip for 2 to Super Bowl 49. The grand prize winner gets 2 plane tickets to Arizona, a hotel room, 2 tickets to the big game February 1st. To play, buy a $10 Powerball ticket through Wednesday at a participating Safeway and mail in the voucher. The drawing for the tickets is January 26th. Did the Patriots cheat to beat the Colts yesterday? The NFL is investigating whether the team provided deflated footballs during the AFC Championship game. Word of the investigation broke shortly after the Patriots beat the Colts 45-7 in a rout last night. Deflated footballs are easier to throw and catch, especially in those rainy conditions you're seeing there. The game operations manual notes that people who alter footballs or allow unapproved footballs to be used in a game can be disciplined with fines or other punishments, possibly a lost draft pick. The 12th man knows never to count out the Seahawks, but in Las Vegas, the New England Patriots are now the slight favorites to win the Super Bowl. The Hawks actually opened as a 2.5-point favorite last night, but the point spread flipped after the Patriots' commanding win over the Colts. The Patriots are now 1-point favorites. So what ties the Seahawks to the Patriots together? It's a matchup between the last two Patriot coaches. Did you know that? Pete Carroll coached New England before Bill Belichick. Patriots cornerback Brandon Browner faces his old team. Browner won a Super Bowl ring last year with the Seahawks, but did not play because he was suspended. And the last two times these teams played, remember this? Back in 2012, it was the infamous "You Mad Bro" encounter between Richard Sherman and Tom Brady. This is Sherman's photo. He tweeted it at the time, but deleted it shortly thereafter. Sherman taunted Brady as he walked off the field after the 24-23 Seahawks win. Going to Coach Carroll now. He's at the podium speaking. Let's listen to Coach.
Okay. What are we doing? What do you got?
Coach, I'd ask you how preparation went this week, but that was Friday's question.
You can ask it again if you want, Tony.
Pretty exciting moment. I know you described it after the game. And, what are you thinking this morning? What's your thoughts after that whole thing?
Well, we're really proud to be part of that. That event. It was really an event as it turned out. Few of us have anything to compare to that. So Sherman Smith has one. The Miracle, whatever that one was, he's had one that was as good. But I think we're all real grateful that we were part of it, and that we had the opportunity to be faced with so much adversity and so much of a challenge, and then see guys really play through it and come through. And it wasn't just like a one-play thing. It was a lot of stuff had to happen. The defense did some great stuff throughout this game, but they did stop them the last couple times they had the ball. Special teams came through as we needed them to. Offense came through, in great fashion. We used the clock well. Russell had 4 interceptions, and then he's 6 for 7, after that, and then a touchdown. Marshawn rushes for 120 in the second half. Their QB throws for 60 yards in the second half. They're 1 for 7 on third down. I mean, those are all things that are indicative that it took a while. There was a lot of stuff that had to happen to put those kinds of numbers together. We outscore them, whatever, like crazy. And from the time we're down 16-zip, and what is that? It's 28-6 or something like that, but all through that, it didn't feel great, and it really, to me, didn't feel great till he caught the ball, and when Coach catches the ball, that's when it felt right, and okay, it's done. But it was a great game to be a part of, and a great event to be a part of. So
Bill Walsh used to talk about a few games Joe Montana had at Notre Dame, and he had maybe this guy could be that sort of comeback player, clutch player in the pros. Did you have that feeling when you were scouting Russell and talking to him, or did that come later?
This would go back to John, because I didn't know all the history of him, but John had talked about that he had been able to pull off all of the heroics and stuff, I think he was player of the year in his conference as a freshman. So, and he said, well, where did it come from? Well, he already had it then too, so, Russell is an extraordinary young man, and with this great belief he has in himself and in the people that he instills and feeds off of the people around him, makes him a really powerful competitor, and there's nothing that he can't come through with, and there's nothing he can't do. There's no lead, there's no situation that he doesn't have a chance to make it happen the way you want it to happen, and that was evidenced again yesterday.
Yesterday to put you guys in such a hole, and that's typically something you don't have to work out of. What did you see through those 4 plays, how did they kind of happen?
Well, there's two of them they go off us, and that's nothing he can do about those. He challenged him on the deep ball down the middle, and really just underestimated the wind through the ball that didn't get, it was a ball that was going to be challenged from the start. Both guys were covered. He took a shot to Jermaine because that's what we do, but the ball just didn't travel, like he had hoped. And it kind of happened on the one up the sidelines too to Jermaine. The ball just didn't travel as well as he had hoped it would, and they both just became underthrows just by a hair, and they're both aggressive plays. We're going after it, and they made nice plays on the ball. It's a great play by their free safety. He had a great game against us to make the catch, but. So it wasn't anything. It wasn't any slight. We didn't practice something during the week, or if we would have had more reps, it was a couple things that happened that tipped off us, and then it was going for it in an aggressive way, and they made good plays. That's why they're in that game right there. They have that ability to make that kind of stuff happen. They're the #1 turnover team in the NFL going in. So they did what they do well, and it almost had the chance to take full advantage of it.
Any update on Richard Sherman's elbow?
No, I have nothing yet.
How about Earl?
I don't have anything on anybody that are getting the MRIs and stuff like that yet. Sorry.
Lost in the excitement were those 2 stops early in the game. I know that wasn't lost on you. How important were those 2 goals?
Yeah, we had 5 sudden changes in the game, and they got 6 points. That's phenomenal football. It didn't seem like the defense was at their best in this game as you watched it. I felt it kind of too, but you look afterwards, and a great quarterback throws for 170 something yards, and. As good as Eddie Lacy did, he rushed for 70 yards, and they were, 4 for 13 or something on 3rd downs, and 0 for 5 on sudden changes is the way we look at it, and so it was a fantastic night of football for the defense. But the stops early weighed huge later on, and we weren't sure what that was going to mean, but they were huge stops. They're on the 2-inch line, fellas made a tackle to keep him out of there and knocked him out a couple times. So the defense had a great night again, a great day. It was a day game. Sorry.
How personally gratifying as a coach who instills the belief and the intangibles in these guys that after the game they said, without that belief, we would have never won that game. That's why we won.
And the first part of the question was how
personally gratifying as a coach?
Well, it is for all of us on the staff. We work together with our messaging and all, and we feel really good about this, and we felt good about it for some time now. When we saw the thing turn around and get going, we saw the potential that we had to play the game like we like to, show up, and then we did it week after week for a while there and really got going. And now the challenge is just keeping it alive, and what a tremendous illustration this was. Really, we're standing on the sidelines there prior to overtime talking about that. Look what you've done. Look what you've accomplished to get to this point. Let's go finish this thing. Believe that we can. And that's how this messaging has been throughout. So it feels great. It feels great to share this with these guys. But most importantly, it's great to see them embrace it and go and take hold of it.
Is it further illustration that Chris Matthews makes the big play, Gary Gilliam makes the big play, Cohen and Dobbs and guys like that on the goal line stand, undrafted guys.
Sure. Yeah, that's kind of how it's just been. We're kind of numb to that right now, but it's the facts, and that's why when we're talking about the work that John and his guys have done, it's illustrated so many times and with so many great examples of finding guys and getting them into the system, and then they play winning football for us. So.
The coaches there, staff, I guess who on the staff is the most excited about identifying things that you can do, like the John Ryan, Gilliam play, things that you can exploit to do unorthodox stuff on special teams?
Well, and Brian Snyder really takes the lead on that. Nick Sorensen and Chad, Morton, those guys are all in there together. They come up with the ideas. I mean, rarely will it be somebody other than the special teams guys for special teams, but each coach has his own way and his own style, and they bring different things to make up this terrific staff we have. And sometimes the ideas pop when you're driving in or when you're going to bed. And here we're wide open for whatever. There's like no boundaries to what we would be willing to do if we feel like it's going to work. And so the guys are in a good environment for ideas and for free thinking and all that. But really in the special teams area, you got to give the credit to Brian. He does a fantastic job. He's been terribly consistent throughout the time he's been here, and really that was their doings, totally.
When the offense was struggling, it seemed like Marshawn was able to give you guys something until things got going. How big was?
Yeah, he had a great game. We rushed for 143 yards in the second half. He had 120, and he was just alive and ripping. And he had a couple of catches too, and it's been an extraordinary season that he's put out here, because he's been so consistent for so long, and he's been so physically right for so long. He looked explosive again. He looked fast and his attitude's always there, but he was able to take advantage of space and sometimes no space. Somebody had a stat, I don't know these numbers, but yardage after initial contact in this game was really high. No kidding, look at the film. He just would not go down. And there are a couple of great team finishes on plays too, when he's driving his legs and those guys jump up off the ground and knock the pile forward and get us 4 or 5 more yards. That sends a message of his style. He played fantastic again.
We've seen that with him, where he's able to. It takes 3 or 4 guys to get him down. He's able to stand up the pile, and the offensive line is able to come in and kind of drag it. Is that just kind of a rare skill set that he has?
Well, yeah, I think it's our guys taking advantage of his special qualities. Our guys realize that if there's a really good look at one of them, Sweezy looks up and he's kind of half on the ground. He just scrambles to his feet and hits the pile to keep it going. That's just taking advantage of what he brings.
I know your schedule's out for the week. Is it exactly the same as last year at this time? Did you make any changes, and if so, why?
No, we're exactly the same. Yeah, we kind of like the way it worked out.
How much of an advantage might that be to these guys that now they've done this and they'll know the media question when they get there?
Well, I think it's been an advantage all year. The whole thing's been an advantage. It's only helped us to understand what lies ahead and all that. And we have we've created this path that we're following now, and we've been doing it the whole season. And we got, one more 2-week shot to go for it, and we're going to stay right with it. There's no reason for us to change much what we do right now. We'll just try to do it better, just try to do everything better and try to maximize, these days that are coming up. Every one of them is going to make a difference.
Speaking from your experience last year, what's important to accomplish this week for the coaches and the players before you get on a plane and go down there?
We do have to get a lot done. This is a very heightened time for us. This is not like sit back and let's take a couple of days. We go after it because Wednesday, Thursday, Friday we're game planning, and we'll have the game plan in before we leave. So that's an old Bill Walsh way. 2 times for Coach Walsh today. And that's the way we've always done the bowl games and stuff ever since we've been doing it, and it's a really good way for the coaches and the players to focus before all of the distractions that naturally come up when you get on the road, and then we'll be polishing all week long.
Does it look like a normal? Does it pretty much look like a normal work week for you guys then?
Yes, it will be.
Pete, both Richard and Earl have been really durable players for you through the years. Do you even have a feel for what your defense would look like without one or both of these guys, or is that somewhere don't think about it, don't jinx it?
Well, I'm okay about that, but I'm not going there. It's worth mentioning again the effort that those guys put out. Okay, here we don't even know what happened to him yet. We don't know what the result of the injury. Both those guys were in a dire straits for could they play, and they didn't flinch, not for a second. And when they played their hearts out, and the courage and the toughness and standing up for who they are and what they mean to this team and all couldn't have been more evident. And their willingness to throw their body out there again and try to finish this game, and would not allow it to be any other way. It was so impressive. It really was. And there's a lot of guys that do that. It just was really symbolic. Here's Earl with the big brace on his shoulder, and he's back out there playing. And there's Richard couldn't straighten his arm out. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't know. We'll talk about that once we know what's going on.
Were you surprised that they didn't attack Sherman more after his injury? I mean, he was so out there. Everybody saw it.
I don't know. It's up to them. I don't know what they're thinking.
Pete, as somebody who likes the imaginative part of football and the imaginative X and O part.
Speaking about yourself, of course, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
But as somebody who likes that the way you do, what do you think of what Patriots have done with this sort of tackle-eligible play 3 or 4 times the last couple of weeks, where the guy who's the left tackle lined up as left tackle is going out, and they got.
Yeah, I think it's great ball. It's within the rules. It's great ball. You know, they're figuring out a way to get an advantage. And the thing they did last week, you know, with the extra eligible in the game and all that, number-wise, it was a good tactic. It's happened in college a little bit more, you know. So I think they picked it up, something that's come around the college game. But you know, makes you stay on your toes. I think it's really good coaching.
Is an extra week really beneficial against that team?
Yeah, I think it's beneficial anytime. You know, an extra week to prepare really helps.
Last time you played the Patriots, you guys scored 2 touchdowns in the last half of the fourth quarter with that comeback, and it was kind of a breakout day for Russell. Obviously, you're past in that whole stretch. What do you remember about that day overall?
It was raining really hard. Yeah, I mean, it was raining really hard, and you know, Tom Brady and somebody were yelling back and forth a little bit. You know, these guys were having some fun. Everybody was into it like it was a huge game. It felt like a championship game, you know, against a great team.
Russell took one of the interceptions. You seem to just get up and walk away like you didn't face him. What does it take to do that?
Yeah, same stuff that takes Earl and Richard to get back out there. We talked about his toughness a while back, a few weeks ago. He got hit pretty good, you know, and he didn't even bat an eye.
You mentioned Tom or somebody else yelling. Has Richard Sherman mellowed at all from the guy he wasn't? I mean, not the way he plays the game, but just the...
I think Richard's just evolving. You know, I think he's evolving into this you know, this kind of station of his life. He sees things probably differently than he did before, just because he's grown. He's experienced a lot, and he's been through a lot, and he has a lot of responsibility. You know, he's gained a lot of responsibility through his notoriety, and I think he's handling it beautifully.
How do you look back at your time coaching the Patriots?
It was a real challenge. This is a great place to be in sports. It's a great town. You know, it's a great following, much like it is here. You know, just tremendous support and all, really heartfelt. That was the old days, you know, in the old facilities and all that stuff. It wasn't quite as nice as it is now, I'm sure, but still, it was, the whole setup was really exciting to be around because it had such great history and all that. You know, it didn't work out. You know, you'll see. We did some good stuff when we were there, but it didn't work out, and we had to move on. So all of a sudden, I sound like Bill.
With Richard, last year when his kind of status skyrocketed, did you have to talk with him at all? Not specifically about at this time, but just kind of from then his celebrity sort of took off and stuff.
From last year,
just after
we've done a lot of stuff. We really have. We've had a lot of stuff that's come through. And most of it has been team oriented and about the messaging to and for our team, and it's. I've watched tremendous growth in a lot of guys. These, our guys are just coming out of being the young guys, and they're kind of now they're maturing into the, they've always been leaders, but they're maturing into that responsibility, the sense of responsibility that now they, is bestowed upon them, and then they're handling it really well. You see Cam and Earl, and these guys are all growing, and it's really. It's fun watching them grow up, and they're doing a really good job of it. I'm proud of the way that they're handling it, their opportunities and stuff. And there's a lot going on for these guys. They had big contracts. They also have a lot going on. They're able to do a lot of stuff in their communities, and they're doing tremendous work around here and back home for themselves. And you couldn't ask for more well-rounded guys, and it's really exciting to watch.
I understand you haven't seen the MRIs, but was there anything the doctor saw that it could?
I have nothing to report. I'm sorry, I just don't have anything.
Did you have much of a decision to make on whether to go for the onside kick?
Did I have much of a decision? Yeah. Who do you think did?
No. I mean, was it a no-brainer? No, I guess
I could have asked Glenna, but she wasn't close enough. What are you asking? What? Ask that again, please.
On the onside kick, was there any thought of not doing that?
Okay, there we go. Yeah. Well, it was all about the timing and how much time was left, and we were looking at depending on when we scored, And we had a really good opportunity to talk it through, and we talked it all the way through and felt really good about going for it and going for the onside kick. But we could easily have kicked the ball deep and tried to stop them 1-2 with it was about the 2-minute warning and the timeout and all of that, and we felt like that. Felt really good about going for it and take a shot at it. And even if you take that shot and you don't make it, you still have to stop them. Just the field position would shift. I mean, you got to figure. We're figuring we're going to stop them no matter what if they get the ball. That's how our mind is. And so you stop them at midfield, or you stop them maybe at the 25, 20, back on the other end. That chance you weigh on whether or not you can get the kick. It's, so.
How many times during the season do you practice that?
Every week. We do it numerous times every week. We have a portion in the week that we do that.
Had Lynch's touchdown not gotten reviewed and reversed, it was like 2:54 left. Would you have kicked Pete then?
Well, I don't know. That was the discussion.
Pete, what would you have preferred Marshawn with 1:35 to go to sat down on the 1-yard line?
No, I think he did exactly the right thing. It flashed in my mind when he broke the line of scrimmage. That's one of those chances right there when you could think about it. But the player should never have that conscience. He's got to go score, win a game, try to get ahead. That's not the right thing to do. In my opinion, is to score. But that's a thought.
Your point would be nothing is guaranteed.
Yeah, you got a chance to win the game. You got a chance to win the game, right? And that's our chance. And then it goes to the next phase. But it did. I swear to God, it was he broke the line of scrimmage. I thought about it. I thought, oh, he could go down. And because it was so clear he was going to get in the end zone. So.
Pete, all the scouts are headed down to Mobile this week for the Senior Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much resources put into scouting, and teams have used, I don't know how many dozens of first-round draft picks on quarterbacks over the past 15 years. Yet the Super Bowl is going to be a third-round pick and a sixth-round pick. Is that just the occasional glitch in the matrix, or how do you look at that?
Yeah, I would like it to be the glitch in the matrix. That would be cool. We got to see the cat walk by first, though, right? Pete, did you get that reference?
I did.
Did not. Okay, that's right. That's all right. That's all right. Anyway, next question. No. Yeah, it is pretty interesting. I mean, Tom's past history and all of that has been so so widely known and understood that what an extraordinary pick he has become, the all-time championship guy, so it'll be interesting for you guys during the next couple of weeks to talk about it and all. But they have a real commonality. Those two guys are great winners. Russell and Tom are great winners, and Tom's had a long time to prove that. Russell's at the early stages of proving it to the world, but I think he's got a chance to be similar.
You mentioned Cam as one of those guys that's matured in the ball a little bit. You guys got here the same year, I guess. Who's the guy you see now versus the guy you saw before we got here?
We're talking about Cam now?
Yeah.
Well, Cam has recognized his responsibility to be the leader. And there was a time coming out of his first year, he played behind Lawyer Malloy, which we did that kind of by design. And Lawyer taught him a ton of football, and Cam did a great job for us on special teams. It was really we had to fight to not put him in then. But after he got going in his first year, we were calling on him to take over, go ahead. And he said, I haven't done anything yet. I haven't done anything yet, and that's not like I'm not worthy of taking, using my voice, and so he's earned his way, and that's what he's earned his way to become a tremendous aspect of this team, and one that everybody looks up to and leans on, and that's the difference that I've seen.
What do you think that was?
I'm going to try to give you a good answer here, because I think I just said that, but it's because
that moment where you think he found his voice. Do you think there was a specific point?
No. I don't think there was a specific point. It took some time, and it's taken years of him feeling good about himself and feeling right about his position, and he really wanted it to naturally evolve, and he did, and he did it exactly perfectly. I was way ahead at the time. I was wrong. He was right.
After that Patriots game, Earl Thomas said of Russell, if guys didn't believe in him then, they certainly do now. Did you notice a difference in how he was perceived in the locker room or how he carried himself? Was that kind of a typical game for him?
This is Russell now?
Yeah.
I think he was just starting. I mean, was that his rookie year, or was that the second year?
It was first year.
First year, yeah. Yeah, I think it was just starting to put the story together. It takes a while. Like we just talked about, it takes a while to earn your stripes. And even in 3 years' time, that's a lot to ask. The guys totally lean on you and count on you and all that kind of stuff. It's he's grown up with these guys. He's one of the younger guys, coming up. So it just takes time. I don't know that was any significant time. I go back to the Chicago game as being the most significant game that he ever had in our eyes as a staff. That's when we shifted gears, But that was certainly a tremendous finish, in a really difficult situation. Sure.
You talked about all the preparation the coaches have to do the next couple of days. Reports obviously about Dan Quinn interviewing Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
How do you balance what's best for the team against what's best for one of your assistants?
Really well. Just really well. I really appreciate you asking a question like that. I haven't had a chance to do that in a long time. I haven't been. Yeah, it just comes along with really the good fortune. The guys get opportunities and stuff like that. So I think I'm pretty wide open and flexible about making sure that it works out and that it won't be a distraction. There'll be some questions and some stuff like that will come up, but we've got such a big mission here that we're on, and Dan wants nothing more than to do everything exactly right to help us do what we have to do in this next couple days that come up and the next week. He has no intention of anything other than that. He's dead solid on that, and so that's what we'll get. And so, but there'll be some logical questions will come out.
When you look at Russell, obviously the beginning of the game didn't go the way he drew it up or any of you guys drew it up. Where does his ability to compartmentalize that come from? Because a lot of young quarterbacks be in that spot and it starts spiraling out of control and they can't reel it back in.
Yeah, it comes from great belief in himself. He really has great self-confidence, and he trusts that, and he's not going to let anything change that. And his language in the fourth quarter on the sidelines, in the huddle, and in and around it, you couldn't be in a better place. He did not let what happened before. He'll tell you something about Hank Aaron. I went 0 for 4, but I'm thinking I was 4 for 4. He understands. He has an inner conversation that only supports that something good's going to happen, and he did it. He did exactly what he knew he could do, and he pulled it together and gave our guys a chance. And everybody had to come through. It wasn't just Russell, but he did his part to make it happen. We'll find out. Yeah, he did practice last week. He was really close. We could have dressed him in the game, but it just felt like the right thing to do. And so he should be fine. But we'll find out as we go through the practices.
How about Jaron Johnson?
He practiced as well, and we felt we needed to wait. So it should just for both those guys just continue to get better for them.
When Dan Quinn becomes a head coach, why will he be a good head coach as opposed to some assistants who find that jump a little tough?
Well, I just talk about Dan. Dan has tremendous character. He's got great leadership qualities. He's an excellent communicator. He's had great experiences behind him. He's worked with a lot of people that have influenced him, that have helped him along the way, and he remembers them all. And he's got a competitive nature about him that I think he conveys. Look what he's done to our guys, and he's been a fantastic guy on the staff. So that means he works well with people, and on this end of it, this level, and the players totally believe in him and can communicate and understand what he wants, conveys the message. I think he's a baller. I don't think you have any problem. I think it's going to be a great step for him when the time comes.
Do you think so many openings have already been filled, and in a way, teams who are successful, their assistants get punished because teams aren't patient? Do you think the rules need to be adjusted?
Yeah, I would really think that would be a good idea if they could do that. And they have to figure it out, though. Not everybody would agree with me on that, I'm sure. But guys should not be restricted because of their success. But it does give other guys opportunities too. But in our situation, I wish these guys had a level playing field.
Or in the overtime, when you took the shots consecutive with Baldwin and Kirst, what went into the conversations about that, or were they checks by Wilson?
No, the first one was just a call, and that was one of the options in the route, and it's one of the ones we like, and we like the matchup and how it worked out. And Doug and Russell are really good throwing the ball in that manner. That's one, and then the other one was a chance to take advantage of a look that they gave us, and that was different. We had a different play call, and we changed the play.
Marshawn improved as a pass catcher this year, or is it more just
No, he's got great hands. He's a great natural catcher. He really is. He can catch and throw and do everything. He's just a natural athlete. We've just probably grown in our ways of getting the ball to him more. He's had a really nice year catching the football.
Chris Matthews was sort of on and off the roster a lot of the year and all that. Do you have sort of a breakthrough moment that convinced you that kind of the role he's carved out?
The first time we got him up and he participated on special teams, he really showed that he was a factor. He could really be unique, and he's so big for a receiver that he crossed over in some other areas, made him more valuable to us. That was really it.
Anything else? Thank you.
Well, there's Coach Pete Carroll leaving the podium there, talking about what's coming for the next couple of weeks leading up to the Super Bowl. I tell you, the coach looks a little tired there and excited to move on. Let's toss to break right now. We'll be right back with more, including weather.
Weed, Mary Jane, ganja. No matter what you call it, growing marijuana is big business. But now residents are fuming over new farms in their neighborhood. The growing pains of Washington's new cash crop. The King 5 investigators, tonight at 7.
Seattle's major corporations are looking for you. Don't miss out on hundreds of career positions. Visit Seattle's Diversity Employment Day Career Fair, Wednesday, January 21st at Seattle Center Pavilion. Go to citycareerfair.com for details.
These are my demands.
When I call for an auto insurance quote, I want to talk to a live, intelligent, caring human being.
Who will give me their total attention.
I'm not a car insurance expert.
I need some help figuring out what's really best for me. If that's what you're looking for, you should call Amica right now. We live and breathe great service.
Sure, I want a good price, but that's not enough.
We agree.
It's like they can read our minds.
Discounts would also be nice.
Look at how many ways Amica can help you save. For combining auto, home, and life insurance, for anti-theft and safety features, and more.
You can even get a discount if you've been with your previous company for a while.
I want a company that'll take the time to understand what I really need.
You have to call Amica. Can they hear us?
Turn up your volume.
I don't expect a lot. Okay, maybe I do expect a lot.
We wouldn't have it any other way. So switch to Amica now.
The number's been here the whole time.
Call Amica for a quote 24/7.
The 2015 Big Seattle Boat Show. It's a big deal. January 23rd through February 1st at CenturyLink Field in South Lake Union with a free shuttle. It's the West Coast's biggest boat show with over 1,000 boats on display. Free boat rides and boatloads of daily deals and prizes. Enter to win a pair of Seahawks season tickets at CenturyLink Field.
The boat show, the Big Seattle Boat Show.
Tickets, promotions, and a complete list of events and activities at seattleboatshow.com.
I tried patches, gum, cold turkey. None of them worked. After my session at Positive Changes, I never smoked again. If you're thinking about quitting smoking, choose Positive Changes.
Call today and start your positive changes for a lifetime.
I was a smoker for 35 years, and I smoked a pack of cigarettes a day. I've wanted to quit for a very long time, and nothing worked until I went to Positive Changes. I never had withdrawals. I never had cravings. It just happened.
Call today for a free consultation.
Looks a lot like your living room, doesn't it? Have you managed to recover after the big win? Something tells me these fans are going to be a little hoarse over the next couple of days. How fun. Seattle King 5 viewers have had their cameras rolling during the final moments of the Hawks NFC Championship win. We're loving every minute of these. Keep them coming. Share your video if you have one on the King 5 Facebook page, or email us at shareit@king5.com. The National Weather Service today, by the way, is sending investigators to Gig Harbor to try to determine if this damage was caused by a tornado. These shots are from King 5 viewers. They show a collapsed dock, railings, downed trees, and other power lines with branches scattered everywhere. The Weather Service says the possible tornado was first spotted around 2:30 yesterday. People reported it moving across Highway 16 near the waterfront then back across the water. And Keisha, a lot goes into deciding what's a tornado and what isn't, but certainly some damage there, isn't there?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, real surprising to see that. We had some activity occur over western Washington, and instability led to a few isolated thunderstorms, that tornado. So yeah, it was very active as we ended the weekend. Thank goodness things are looking much calmer overall today. We are seeing clearing skies as well. As we take a look up north, Friday Harbor, here comes the sun finally. We took long enough after a cloudy start with a few lingering showers. Now most areas over the interior starting to clear out. So that's the good news. Let's take a look and see how we're shaping from our Queen Anne Tower perspective. Things are looking still very gray here. I do expect some clearing to occur a little bit later. We'll have to wait for it, but we're all in for a little bit of a drying trend, at least for the next couple of days. Stevens Pass picked up 6 inches of new snow, additional snow on the way, and check out all the skiers taking advantage of the new snow that we saw over the weekend on this MLK Junior Day. Those of you off enjoying the great new powder. All right, our temperatures starting out in the upper 40s around Lake Stevens, 46 degrees around Ferndale. We're in the low 50s around Oak Harbor at this hour. I do expect those temperatures to pretty much stay in the upper 40s, so near 50 for many neighborhoods. You can still see a few lingering showers in the Cascade foothills. The Cascades will continue to see that rain-snow mix around Stevens Pass. The north coast may be a sprinkle, but for the most part, skies starting to clear out for many of you as high pressure starts to build, and that's going to keep us clear for the next couple of days, blocking any storms from entering. And that storm that brought the wind our way over the weekend now well to the north, so we are alleviated from any moisture coming in. The winds have eased, and it will stay that way for the next couple of days. Our temperatures, as I mentioned, will stay in the upper 40s around the north interior. You will see mostly cloudy skies, but I'm seeing lots of clearing already up around Bellingham, so do expect partly cloudy skies by the middle part of the day, and with the clearing skies overnight and the moist ground, of course, that's going to lead to fog once again each morning through the middle part of the week before clearing out. Upper 40s in Bellevue, looking at the upper 40s around Bremerton. Expect more of the same for any outdoor activities today, any parades going on. You might want to take the rain gear in the Cascade foothills around Puyallup or Enumclaw. Could see maybe a few lingering sprinkles, but those will come to an end later on today. Along the coast, seeing some bright sunshiny weather right now. Still a little cloudy for some of you, but certainly clearing out around Ocean Shores and Long Beach with temperatures in the 50s. As we jump east of the mountains, we will see clearing skies. Lots of sun breaks around Wenatchee, but mostly cloudy across the inland northwest. Here's a look at our extended forecast. You can see the showers will be coming to an end for everybody. I do expect lingering showers mainly near the Cascade foothills, but you will see that wrap up this evening, and things are looking a little foggy. The fog will return later on tonight, and you'll encounter that tomorrow morning during the morning commute. But be mindful, morning fog will give way to sunshine by the middle part of the day. Temperatures will stay in the upper 40s, and rain returns by the end of the week. So not looking too bad there.
Pretty soon we're going to start seeing that Super Bowl forecast as well.
Oh, yeah.
Work that thing in. I'm sure it'll be warm.
Absolutely.
Thanks. See you, Keisha. A look at how many marked Martin Luther King Day. That's coming up. Also, some teens could be putting their parents at risk if they decide to party with alcohol. Coming up, the new ordinance in Sammamish that could be very costly for some moms and dads. Next on King 5 News at noon.
All new Dr. Phil. She's 15.
She's stealing your car. She knocked boys into the house.
And a teen tyrant.
You're going to do what you want to do when you want to do it, right?
I do it because I don't have a mom to stop me.
Today at 2, followed by Ellen on King 5.
Jennifer Aniston has a lot of explaining to do.
A lot of people are going, oh, you're topless hugging him.
He's like a brother to me.
That makes it weirder.
Next, Ellen.
Today at 3, followed by King 5 News. King 5 News is brought to you in part by Cirque du Soleil's Curios at Marymore Park.
Everybody knows Car Pros sells for less. That means we sell new Fiats for less, and I mean way less. Look at the little Fiat Pop. Yeah, that's what it's called, a Pop. Gets over 30 miles a gallon. It's 5-star safety rated. Think about this. Come on down to Car Pros, take any Pop, take 40% off the MSRP, and that's your price. New Pops under 10 grand. Car Pros, Fiat of Seattle. Come see us.
Car Pros sells for less. CARPROS.
Nature Valley Crunchy Granola Bars give you energy from 1/3 of your daily whole grains. So 1/3 of this commercial is dedicated to what you could do with all that energy. One-third of your daily whole grains means energy to help your dog have his day. Nature Valley Crunchy Granola Bars.
If you're looking for the ultimate entertainment experience, you're ready. Ready to bring your TV and internet together like never before. You're ready for the X1 Entertainment Operating System from Xfinity. Call 1-800-948-1010 and get Xfinity TV, internet, and voice from Comcast for only $33 each a month for 12 months when you bundle all three. With X1 DVR service, you can record 4 shows while watching live TV and find everything faster with Smart Search across live TV, Xfinity On Demand, and the X1 DVR. Plus, Xfinity Internet delivers the fastest in-home Wi-Fi and reliably fast speeds even during peak hours. Get Xfinity TV, internet, and voice for $33 each a month for 12 months when you bundle all three. Now, with double the internet speed included. Plus, ask how you can upgrade and get a prepaid card with up to $200. It's all backed by our 30-day money-back guarantee, so it's risk-free. You're ready for the ultimate entertainment experience. You're ready for Xfinity. Call 1-800-948-1010 today. Xfinity, the future of awesome.
My poor little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
On this Martin Luther King Day, a snippet of his most famous speech, commonly called the I Have a Dream speech. If you haven't seen the whole thing, you should. He gave it August 28th, 1963 at the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. Martin Luther King Day is a day of service for many Americans who come together to serve their neighborhoods and communities. Homeland Security Secretary Jay Johnson was among those laying a wreath at the base of the memorial honoring the slain civil rights leader today. They honored and celebrated Dr. King's work and sacrifice while telling the crowd there is still much more work to be done.
On this day in 2015, in the name of Martin Luther King, we must rededicate ourselves to a better world in which God's children choose to feed the hungry, care for the sick, clothe the naked, choose conciliation over confrontation, brotherhood over hatred, and peace over war.
A new poll from NBC shows that there is a lot of folks that still think there's a lot of work that could be done. This is an NBC Wall Street Journal poll saying that slightly more than half of Americans have seen the country on the right track, but 7 in 10 African Americans believe that we have not yet realized Dr. King's dream. About 5,000 people are marking Martin Luther King Day with a march and other activities in Seattle. King 5's Linda Byron is at Garfield High School, historically where one of the biggest events on this day happens.
The activities began this morning here at Garfield High School with panels, workshops, and a rally all taking place before the march. The theme this year is Know Your Rights in 2015. And of course, a big area of focus is policing, with 2 high-profile deaths occurring across the country, one in Ferguson, the other in New York. Concerns about relationships with police are very much on people's minds here. And of course, Seattle is under a settlement agreement with the Department of Justice, promising to curtail excessive force and curb bias policing. We asked people attending this rally if they think real progress is being made in Seattle.
That's kind of difficult to answer. Because we still have the problems and the tension in certain areas of town. But I believe they're trying to get better and that we can in the near future.
Seattle has had a new police chief on the job since last June, and she has made increasing public trust between police and communities of color a #1 priority. She told me she feels she is making progress, but there is a lot of work left to be done. In Seattle, Linda Byron, King 5 News.
Part of the way some folks are honoring Dr. King's legacy is through community service. That's exactly how a group of Marysville students spent their afternoon today. These kids are from Jackson High School, and they got right to work cleaning up Jennings Park. Good job, kids. Vice President Joe Biden spoke at a breakfast this morning to honor the doctor. Biden told the crowd more work needs to be done to bridge the separation between police and minorities.
We can solve this problem. Let's not forget who we are. Let's not forget what we've done. Let's not forget, although there's much more to do, we have come very, very far.
Biden emphasized that police officers have the right to get home safely, and all people have the right to be treated with respect and humanity. In another direction now, there's a new crackdown on underage drinking in one King County city, and that could mean fines up to $1,000 for parents. As King 5's Michael Konopasek shows us, a proposed ordinance in Sammamish means adults could be fined for illegal drinking parties that take place without their knowing.
It's called a social host ordinance that takes enforcement one step further than current state law. Basically, you can still get in trouble even if you don't provide the alcohol.
This ordinance, as proposed, you do not necessarily have to know that the party's taking place. So if you're responsible for the property, like a parent goes out of town and there's a large juvenile drinking party there, the parent could be held accountable.
The Sammamish police chief is one of the main supporters behind the proposed ordinance that targets people in control of property at the time parties occur. The goal, police say, is prevention. They want parents and guardians to get serious about the problem of underage drinking and to make sure that those under 21 don't have access to an alcohol stash. Police say these underage drinking parties are not just a nuisance for neighbors. Many times they result in assaults and impaired driving. If passed, Sammamish would only be the second city in King County to have a social host ordinance on the books. The other is Mercer Island. Under the current proposal, the first offense in Sammamish would be a $500 fine. Additional fines within a 5-year period would be $1,000. Sammamish police say they expect to see more ordinances like this one, and more are being adopted across the country. The proposal is scheduled for a third reading here at Sammamish City Hall on February 3rd. Also in February, a final vote is expected to take place. Reporting in Sammamish, Michael Konopasek, King 5 News.
This noon, police are looking for the people responsible for a home invasion in Edmonds. Officers say 2 people broke into a home overnight where a man was house sitting. They tied him up and locked him up in a garage. Police say the homeowner is growing medical marijuana plants, growing equipment, and other items were stolen. Police are looking for the men who kidnapped and robbed a professional golfer in Hawaii. Robert Allenby says he was knocked out outside a wine bar Friday night.
2.5 hours later, I woke up on the street, in the gutter. I've been thrown out of the trunk of a car. I've been robbed. And the only reason why I know that part is because a homeless lady told me, and she said she saw it.
Oh, the 43-year-old was robbed of his wallet, cell phone, and cash and credit cards during the incident. Allenby was in Honolulu to play at the Sony Open. He missed the cut. Police are reviewing the surveillance footage from that night. Investigators in Delaware and the Secret Service have a real mystery on their hands today. Who fired shots at the vice president's house? The Biden home is considered to be in an upscale, affluent neighborhood, not the kind of place for a drive-by shooting. NBC's Chris Jansing reports.
For hours, investigators searched the area around the vice president's Delaware home and his neighbors, looking for bullets or any other clues after a series of shots were fired near the residence Saturday night from a speeding car. The Bidens were out for the evening, but Secret Service was there and gave chase along with local police, but the vehicle got away. The gunfire came from a public road outside the security perimeter. The house can't be seen from there, but the shots were clearly heard. The chase, a search of the area, and questioning neighbors turned up nothing, leaving investigators with a range of possibilities.
Who is having a dispute in the area? Is it known street criminals? Is it unrelated to the vice president? Is it somebody who is mentally defective?
There's always a security perimeter around the Bidens' 4-acre estate with its 7,000-square-foot home and a guard shack at the entrance. The vice president and Dr. Jill Biden often spend weekends there, away from public duties, but not out of the public eye. Locals report he was at the Home Depot on Saturday morning. A man was taken into custody less than an hour after the shooting. He'd been trying to get around officers who were securing the perimeter, but police haven't charged him with anything to do with the shooting itself. None of the area homes were damaged, leaving investigators questions of who and why unanswered.
Chris Jansing reporting there. Investigators say they don't know if the Biden home was actually a target or just at the center of a random shooting. All that stormy weather that caused a lot of problems this past weekend is gone, but what's next? Keisha Burns is back with a look at your forecast next.
The Big Seattle Boat Show, January 23rd through February 1st.
Technology has improved our lives in small ways, in big ways. But what about this? Couldn't this be better too? At Redfin, we asked ourselves the same question, which led us to create new ways to take you inside a home or instantly schedule a tour. But we paired that with our own agents, who aren't paid on commission, but on your happiness. And that's what makes it all work. The world has changed, and now real estate has too.
The late Joan Rivers was a Celebrity Apprentice champion, and one of her final appearances was here on the show. Tonight, see one of America's funniest and most beloved stars.
That's my beautiful champ.
The Celebrity Apprentice with Joan Rivers, tonight on NBC.
We're looking at a terrorist cell on American soil.
She's been activated to kill Director Navarro.
A devastating threat is about to hit close to home. New State of Affairs, tonight at 10/9 Central here on NBC.
You are unique. There are no two fingerprints alike and no other DNA structure like yours. Your body and brain respond uniquely. That's why treating depression can be challenging. Antidepressants can work differently on each individual. If you've tried antidepressants and didn't get enough relief, you may qualify for an investigational medication research study provided at no cost, and compensation may be available. Call Summit Research Network at 206-292-CARE or visit summitresearchnetwork.com.
Are you having problems with the IRS? Our trained professionals here at Wallen Associates have over 30 years experience helping individuals and businesses solve their tax problems.
Having tax issues, it's very scary. I was worried that we would lose our house. When I called Wallen Associates, they were able to meet with me in person, and I never had to talk to the IRS again.
Call now for a free consultation. We'll meet with you in person, face-to-face, at a local office near you.
Call 206-452-5202, 206-452-5202. We solve tax problems.
Welcome to My Tulalip. Welcome to the richest rewards and big thrills without boundaries. Captivating experiences and unforgettable moments worth sharing. It's where extraordinary meets incredible each and every day. This is my game, my life, My Tulalip.
Health officials say the measles outbreak linked to California's Disneyland is spreading. There are now 51 confirmed cases of measles in 4 states, including 1 case in Washington. That's nearly double the number of cases reported last Tuesday. That's because the virus is now spread beyond visitors to Disneyland between December 17th and the 20th. A California woman infected with measles traveled to western Washington earlier this month, and experts worry this could develop into one of the worst outbreaks since '89, and they are urging folks who haven't been vaccinated or who haven't gotten a booster to get one now. In entertainment news, fresh off its multi-Golden Globe win for the original television series Transparent, Amazon Studios announced plans to start making movies again. The Seattle-based company says it plans to produce and acquire close to a dozen full-length feature films per year for the release in theaters. The films will then be available to Amazon Prime subscribers in the U.S. on Prime Instant Video about 30 to 60 days following their theatrical debut. Production is planned to begin this year. Gas prices continue their downward spiral. According to the latest numbers from AAA, gas prices fell another 7 cents per gallon last week. The national average for a gallon of unleaded is now just $2.06. 24 states have gas for under $2. AAA predicts gas prices will eventually climb back up, but not above $3 per gallon this year. That's good news. Right now in our state, the average is $2.25 a gallon. In the Seattle area, it's $2.41, but that's down 10 cents from last week, too. And look at Spokane, $1.85 per gallon. No doubt you've seen these Seahawks super fans cheering for the team. They're in the front row of the south end zone. You might know them as Mr. and Mrs. Seahawk, getting the crowd pumped up before the game, all the way from the bar to CenturyLink Field. That's their #1 mission, a mission that will last another 2 weeks now.
Come on, guys. This is incredible. 2 years in a freaking row. My goodness sakes. Can you believe this?
Mr. Seahawk.
The Auburn couple has become celebrities in their own right. They've even been featured in this Campbell's Soup commercial, which we've seen a couple of times. Keisha Burns is here now. It's exciting now. 2 weeks.
Yes.
Unbelievable. They're back to the Super Bowl. Yeah. So don't know the Super Bowl forecast yet, but how are things looking for the next week?
Things are looking for next week. Not looking too bad for the most part. We will see those showers in for today, fog by tomorrow morning and Wednesday. But looking ahead, things are not looking all that bad. Just a couple of weak systems moving through with rain by the end of the week, but it won't be a complete washout by the weekend. Highs anywhere from the upper 40s to lower 50s.
Looking good. Warmer temperatures, not too bad.
Yeah, not too bad.
Very good. All right. Well, there's the 12-man flag above the Space Needle, worn and tattered like the Hawks, but they're headed to the Super Bowl. See you at 5.
Oz. Your days of exhaustion are over. The plan to turbo fire your energy in just 10 days. 5 simple steps to a powerful new you. All new Oz.
Today at 4, followed by Rachel on Kong.
Northwest Clinical Research Center in Bellevue is looking for adult volunteers ages 18 to 65 to participate in a clinical research study evaluating an investigational drug for depression. Call 425-453-0404 or visit our website, nwstudies.com.
I know. This third shift is rough.
It's just a few more weeks. Max, what are you doing up? It's late.
I just wanted to have breakfast with you.
CenturyLink is bringing up to 1 gig internet to your city. Speed available in select areas only. And now, bundle 2 great services for less than $45 a month. That's super fast internet with enough speed for all your devices. And DirecTV service, the #1 satellite TV service in the country. All at a bundled monthly price that won't put the squeeze on your budget. Plus, ask about Genie, the most advanced HD DVR ever, only from DirecTV, that lets you put your TV anywhere in your home with no messy cable wires. It's that easy to have total TV freedom. You can't do that with cable. So call CenturyLink today at 800-508-5221 to get fast internet and DirecTV service for less than $45 a month. Don't wait. Make the call today. It's time to cut cable and switch to CenturyLink. Call 800-508-5221 today.
Yeah. I called around for auto insurance quotes, and it seems like they're all the same.
If you want a company that feels different the very first time you call, then try Amica.
There has to be something better.
Our whole company is dedicated to great customer service and helping you save money. For example, you can save up to 25% when you insure more than one car with Amica.
Hey, why don't you call Amica? That's a great company.
Yes, listen to that guy. Bicycle guy.
Well, who haven't we tried yet?
Amica.